right. Gianna Augustine. Did I say Augustine is correct?
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
Perfect.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. We
Good.
literally just met like 5 minutes ago for the first time.
Yes.
This is so great.
And we have so many things in common.
So many
already.
things. Born and raised in Overland Park.
Yep.
Both,
living there now.
Yeah. You went to St. Thomas Aquinas, though. I did
yes.
not go there. I went to Shawnee Mission East, but then we both went to Kansas State University.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. Let's go Cats.
Yep.
Terrible basketball season. I don't know if you're a basketball watcher.
I watch it. I follow it. It'll be interesting to see what happens around
they've lost some
K-State basketball.
They've lost some players just recently, like 3 out of the 4, I think. But from what I understood, none of them were really like huge parts of the game. They were, obviously. Everyone is on a team, but they weren't like big scorers for us. And then Mike McGurl is coming back now. So we could have a good team in the next couple of years.
So.
I know.
I loved when I was there. We were beating KU.
Yes.
We stormed the court multiple times.
Wait, so
when I was there.
You were the
so
Beasley
fun.
years. Were you the Beasley years?
No.
You were after that or before that?
A little bit after that.
Right,
a little bit after that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, on my recruiting visit, he was playing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was really neat to see. And then like seeing him now, I'm like, wait, he was playing when I was on a recruiting trip. So
he was in the NBA.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you've been introduced. You know, I know you have a passion about golf and specifically about junior golf. And I think, you know, I love that you approached me. You reached out to me on Instagram and you said, this is what I want to talk about. And I am so happy because you were just like, I love that you were direct. You were to the point.
Yes.
Like, this is what I want to do. I was like,
Which is how I am.
I love
it can come off a little different to some people, but I am direct, get to the point, and I mean it with love. So
and that's what I took it that way. And honestly, I appreciate that because as we were talking before we started recording, this is about the golf podcast is about giving a platform for people like yourself to spread and spread the game or you know, awareness.
Yeah. I love it. I love listening to podcasts. I'm kind of excited to be on one. So that's a great thing. Yeah.
We'll get into it. You know what? Talk about junior golf. We'll get into who you are and why people should listen to you because you kind of are a big deal. I've understood that you have many leather-bound books at your house and, you know, people know you. So
yeah. So I have played golf my entire life. I actually grew up between the Sykes Lady and St. Andrews golf courses.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, you know, every day driving to school or, you know, going to the store, whatever it was. I'm always going by either one of those courses. I rode my bike there as a kid and I would putt. My dad would pick me up on his way home from work.
I got to interject for a second.
Yeah.
How different is it now looking at the new clubhouse?
Yes.
And the tree, because I grew up, I started working there when I was 16.
Yeah.
And so that was, 22 years ago now.
A little part of me kind of broke a little bit because I remember going under the pavilion and getting junior trophies or, you know, all my friends and I would have lunch in the booths at the old clubhouse. So it's weird, like it's not there anymore. And it's this beautiful building that kind of feels like my country club, if you will.
Yeah. It's honestly, they did a fantastic job. And Overland Park has always done a fantastic job with their golf programs.
The city needed this. Mm-hmm. It's a great restaurant. We keep getting better. We're changing the menu. It just recently changed and it's good food. And I know that I work there, but truthfully, it's good food.
It is. So, I haven't eaten there in a while because of COVID and the pandemic and everything like that. But the time that I did go, it was really good. Yeah. And it was really fun. Like we were there until like 10 p.m. putting on the back on those artificial turf greens. And it was amazing.
It's so fun. And the thing that I like about it, and I wish they were playing with us, but let's say a family member doesn't golf. Well, we'll play golf. And then that family member will meet us at the restaurant for dinner, drinks, whatever it is. And that's a good way to link it and also kind of maybe spark some interest for them to get into the game.
I think Overland Park created an environment to help grow the game in a I don't want to say a unique way, but where we really need to trend as an industry to grow the game because you're right. They can come out, maybe you're giving, I'm just hypothetically speaking of situations, you're giving a lesson or you're doing a playing lesson or you're going out and playing with somebody, mom and dad show up, you can sit down, or they could come early and watch them finish. Yes. Yeah. And you know, to me, I witnessed this for the first time as Overland Park, Sykes Lady was building that out. I went down to Amarillo, Texas, where my sister-in-law is from, and there was a par 3 golf course, 18 holes. It was on I'm going to get this wrong, I think it was on the south side of Amarillo. There was a newer established neighborhood there, and there was really nothing else around. And so the owner of this golf course, and it was a huge driving range too. It was very similar to Sykes Lady and everything. And the owner of this golf course he must have had like an epiphany or something. I want to go down and talk to him again, because I'm like, how did you do this? He took the entire clubhouse, renovated it out, reduced the size of the pro shop to, I wouldn't say next to nothing, but fairly small, and transferred the small bar and grill or transformed the small bar and grill into a full functioning restaurant. Well, now everyone that lives around, go there. It's a hangout spot.
Exactly.
And people play, in the aspect of it being a par 3 18-hole golf course, some of them are like 250 yards.
It's accessible to everybody.
Yes. It was amazing.
Yes.
And it's the best part about it has lights across the entire property. So you can play, like we teed off at like 9 p.m.
That's a great thing for me and you playing, not a great thing as a golf pro, because
right.
you're there very late at night. But our driving range at St. Andrews has lights.
Yeah.
It'll be on till 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And that place is
jam-packed.
Wall-to-wall people.
Yeah.
It's
I go out
really
there
fun.
every now and then. I'm always amazed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I've had a lot of coffee this morning, so I am amped up.
I obviously have mine as well. So, and then even the putting green is lit at St. Andrews at night. So in the summers, I would go there at like 9 o'clock at night and just putt because it was cooler.
Yeah.
Which was really nice.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. I love that we have the artificial turf green. I know I'll see, a packed restaurant, which is amazing. And kiddos who got bored with dinner, finish their dinner, and they go down and they putt on the artificial green. That may be their first experience to golf.
Yeah.
Fun.
I think it's amazing. Yeah. You've created an environment to inspire and get people to spark curiosity, or, get people's curiosity to go, oh, I do want to try that.
And it's artificial turf. So if they run around and do cartwheels and do whatever they want, it's fine.
I was watching a video of the No Laying Up guys, and they were playing the Concession Club, I think, in
Florida.
Yes, in Florida. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they were previewing it before the tour event, and it cracked me up because they made them hit off of mats out in the fairway.
Oh yeah.
And
so they wouldn't.
Yeah, so they wouldn't damage the course.
Yes.
Well, on like the first hole, he's got his mat down, and he ends up accidentally taking a divot on the actual turf, and it was just like, you could see he was just like, oh gosh, yeah. But I think that's awesome, because I totally agree with, etiquette is something that is learned over time, and you can teach it, but people don't understand, young kids or people new into the game don't understand. It's like, I shouldn't run across the green. Okay.
I have Pee Wee golf that I teach at Sykes Lady, and they start at age 4, and I think I might be messing with the kid's brain. We talk about the putting green as the baby grass, and I will ask them, so what part of the golf course are we on? And they will say, the baby. And I'm like, okay, it's the putting green, but we treat it like a baby. We're gentle with it. We're sweet to it. And that resonates with them. And those are just different things that I talk to those kids about. Oftentimes, I'm the first person that introduces somebody to golf.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But I want them to keep playing. So however we can make it fun, I'm not going to stand there and say, don't run on the grass. I'm just going to say, hey, what is this? Redirect that energy into fun. Yeah. So that way they keep coming back, because obviously I was introduced to the game at a young age, and I'm still in it.
Yeah.
As much as I've tried to pull out of it, or, not play anymore, or just see if my life has a different path, I just keep turning left and back on the road.
Familiarity is coming up there.
Yep,
I'm back. I think I can't wait till there's some PGA Tour player or LPGA Tour player that's out there, and they go, well, the baby grass. You have to take it. Yeah.
Yes.
And you're gonna be yes.
I'm gonna be like, oh boy, I made that, and I made that monster.
I made an impact.
Yes. We also learn about fixing divots, and we call them boo-boos on the golf course. But I think that's a huge deal to have the kids, being respectful to the golf course, because if we're growing the game, we all need to know how to fix a divot.
Yeah, I guarantee you the next time I play golf,
I'm going to fix my boo-boo.
I'm going to say that. Whether I say it to myself or I'll say it out loud. And if I say it out loud, people are going to be like, what did you just say? I'll be like,
can you imagine if I was like, fix your divot, kids? They'd be like,
what's a divot?
What?
Yeah.
So
what's a ball mark?
Yeah, and they get
the thing
it.
In my pocket? No.
Yeah, and it resonates with them. Like I talk about saying, hey, if you let's say you get a cut on your leg and you might have to get stitches. This is basically like giving stitches. Like, will it heal someday? Yeah. Does it look kind of weird right now? Yeah. But, we fix it with a T or a divot repair tool and put the grass back in place and pat it down. And they love it.
All the things, again, Driving Pursuits KC was on here, and it was just like the wave of like, gosh, we have to teach people so much in a good way. I mean that in a good way, but there's so many little things that we just don't think about, and you're hitting all of those.
Well, good. Thanks.
That's awesome.
And I love it, and they love it. And that's not teaching them the golf swing, but that's teaching them etiquette and things that will help them in their future.
Well, we talked, and we talked at the Driving Pursuits KC episode. We talked about the fact of, what do you do when you get to the golf course? Like, there's so many people. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to go into the clubhouse. Where do I go in the clubhouse?
Or how do I strap my bag on the golf cart? That's something that I teach, and I welcome it.
Yeah.
And some people are like, I'm embarrassed. I don't know. And I was like, well, that's why.
That's okay.
That's why I'm here.
Why would you know?
And I want to teach you the right way. And we might giggle about it.
We might call them weird things, but it'll all make sense.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go down our rabbit hole a little bit. We said we were going to stay focused.
Yes.
So here we go, back on track, back on the road.
Talk about the pathway into junior golf is what I think you really want to talk about here.
Yes, I really do, because I get these kiddos that are, coming to classes or in private lessons with me, and I get the question, what's next? Way too often.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that I can serve as kind of a pathway for people. So all of the things I'm going to talk about, a simple internet search with these keywords, you'll find it. You're
touching it. You're pulling at my heartstrings here as a vice president of digital marketing for my company. So keywords.
I printed off this. I have this sheet of paper just so I remember everything. But I just Googled. Yeah. Like, here's the first one. Get your kid into drive, chip, and putt.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah,
when I was growing up.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was around when I was a kid. I don't know when it started.
I think they said 15 years ago.
Okay, so I was definitely not a kid then.
But it's changed so much from even when I did it. Yeah. So you go through a local qualifying, which is a free thing to do. There's 4 of them in our region. I just searched from down by Sykes Lady, and Eagle Bend, Lawrence is one of the locations. Tiffany Green's up north of kind of where we are. Fred Urbanis, that's like the Lee Summit serving area. And then Canyon Farms in Lenexa has a local qualifying
So we got
spot.
north, south, east, and west all covered. Yeah,
we got it covered.
Nice.
And the best thing about it is you can register 5 days prior to these events. So the first one starts, looks like Fred Urbanis is June 21st. Okay. So you have tons of time to get registered, but this is so fun for the kids. They test out their driving skills. All they need is a driver, a wedge, and a putter. Yeah. And they really only need those skills. So it's age-based, distance, and then direction on the driving range. Okay. So a little bit of, testing that skill, and then chipping into certain rings, et cetera, and then putting, seeing if you can make putts from 3 feet, and then there's a little bit farther as they go on. But the cool thing about it is, one, it's free. Yeah. So you can kind of test your skill based on other juniors, and you're not spending the entire 4 hours playing a tournament round of golf. Right. But you get kind of that butterfly in your stomach, that adrenaline rush. Pop. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And then there's 2 other stages, but if you make it through those stages, you have an opportunity to show your skills at the national one at Augusta National. Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. Where is that at?
Bobby Jones.
I feel like there's something
Georgia,
happening in like
Masters.
2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one thing. I want to see a kid from Kansas City on the TV.
I know. Yeah. Do you watch it? I watch it on TV. It's amazing.
Kids are amazing.
Yeah. It's hard not to hold back tears, like, because you're just so happy for them when they do, or you see them react. And I love the replays. I love like when they show they make a putt and you get to see the reaction.
Oh my goodness.
The little fist pumps that are going on. It just,
the smile gets me.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like anytime you can smile, you're having fun. Yeah. And you're probably coming back.
I think we need to do that just more in general in life, and when old adults are playing golf, like, when someone says, why do you play golf? And they go, because it's relaxing. And then you go, you don't look relaxed.
You don't look relaxed. I often tell the kids, if they're trying hard, I'm like, when you go in the backyard and you play with your friends, are you trying really hard? Right. Or are you just playing? I'm just playing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing here. Have fun. Yeah. When you go home at night after you play outside with your friends, you're not upset about how you played. You just played. Do the same thing playing golf.
Should have squirted Tommy more with my water gun. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and it resonates with them. Again, just little phrases are bringing it into their world.
Yeah.
And it helps them kind of grow as a golfer.
Yeah, and I think it's really I want to like reference, because the program you're talking about is really correlated closely to the punt, pass, and kick that the NFL does, and it's very similar. And I think that might resonate with some parents because kids are in football or other things, and I think that's something. That's what this is.
I love that connection.
Yes,
Thank you for that.
It really helps. Yeah, I think that's, and I was Googling that. I was like, what is it called again? And so, punt, pass, and kick, I mean, is a huge thing. And Coach Andy Reid competed in it, here not in Kansas City, but he was, if you've ever seen the video, go look it up. He's ginormous compared to all the other kids.
Even as a kiddo.
Yes. He's like 4 feet taller than the kid in front of him. So it's hilarious. I love the fact, because this creates the competitive nature. And I think, Brad Volker was on yesterday with me, and we were talking a lot about this too, of that, a shot of adrenaline. And I think it helps them to understand it's like, yes, you need to go have fun with it, but at the same time, you need to figure out how to perform in that moment, I'm not saying like instill like you must do this right now, but I'm just saying like it kind of starts to help them understand. It's like, okay, when I get up to the first tee, it's like, okay, how do I turn that switch on to get going?
Yes. Or steady my mind, whatever it needs to be.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And it translates into, you're going to have to do public speaking in school. And you're going to have test moments, and you're going to have essays, but just getting your mind right and prepared, all of that translates perfectly from golf into life. And those are just things that you learn along the way. I'm not, telling you or forcing it to you, you're going to be a good public speaker, but it just happens because you've been put in high pressure situations in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And I think the thing that we definitely need to talk about, I'm a huge fan of a golf pro, Michelle Holmes. She's in the Virginia area. She teaches juniors, and she has some great quotes that I just love. And one of them is, when we're playing in a tournament, no matter what, we arrive as a happy family and we leave as a happy family. I love you no matter what. And I think that's such a huge thing. I had that from my family.
Yeah.
And I think it took me until probably my late 20s, now that I am, to realize like how I performed on the golf course has no effect on how my family loves me.
Oh, yes, totally agree.
And I wish I would have had that mindset earlier in my junior career, because I always felt like I was putting so much pressure on myself to perform well, so that way they would be proud of me. But my dad was proud of me no matter what.
Yeah, but you were you were doing that to yourself.
Self-motivation is like a huge thing that I have. And so, of course, I wanted to perform well. But if I could have just kind of settled in and settled that pressure, obviously I did well as a junior, which I will talk about. But knowing it now has helped me tremendously. Yeah. I'm still loved by all of my family, even when I shoot a lot over par.
Yeah, I love it. I think, that's interesting. And I don't want to dive into this, but, I felt the very similar way of, we traveled around Kansas City area, and I played in a lot of junior programs, and I did fairly well. But I also know that like my parents wanted me to perform very well, but agreed. They didn't love me any less if I didn't play. Now they might be disappointed in the way that I played, but it wasn't like shaming me by any means.
Disappointed if you kind of looked like you gave up or just weren't in it anymore. I get that. Yeah.
I'll use like my mom, she just knew I could do better.
But how much more were you disappointed in yourself?
So immensely.
Yes.
And I'll compare it to something like I played soccer, grew up playing a lot of soccer, and I was always the fastest kid on the team. And my mom, I still to this day, I can hear this, is she knew what to say to get me to hit that next gear in speed. And she just would scream, faster! and it was just, she knew I could do better. Yeah. It wasn't anything of like, disappointment or anything like that. She just knew her job in life was to get the best version of me.
Yeah.
And
be
she,
your cheerleader.
Yes. And that's what she did. And so she knew what to say. And there were quiet moments on the car ride back from tournaments every now and then where it just was like, you can do better.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're right, I can. And
but she still fed you dinner that night.
Well, no, yes, she did. Yeah. Of course she did. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the next one.
Yes, please.
So
just expect to go down these rabbit holes on each one you introduce.
I know. This one's really fun, and I wish this would have been around when I was a kiddo. So let's say you did drive, chip, and putt, or you didn't, and it's just an option for you. Going into the next one is PGA Junior League.
Yep.
And it's very similar to college golf that, we played in, and it's a team aspect that you get earlier than high school.
Yep.
And I think it's so fun. This is introductory. The kiddos play with a partner from their team in a scramble format.
Yeah.
So there's not so much pressure on hitting the best drive on every single hole. You have your buddy who can help you, and you have your buddy who can help you putt. And we play scrambles as adults all the time.
Yeah.
Why are we not doing this for juniors? Well, enter PGA Junior League.
I love it.
Yes.
Brad, we talked about this yesterday.
Okay,
it
great.
was awesome.
Yeah. So there's, I'm lucky to say that our team is filled for this season. We've got 30 kiddos on our team, but there's tons of, Prairie Highlands, Grand Summit, the Mayhans have all of these teams, and I love it. So that's who you're looking for. And then Creekmore, Drum, Sycamore all still have openings for PGA Junior League.
I think I'm with you when you said I wish this was around when I was a kid, because I'm sorry, I draw back to like competitive nature way too much, but like, you're right. You have your partner, you can do all these things, but it really instills to me that this is a tournament a little bit, or it's a challenge somewhat, because they're competing against another team. Is the way that I understand it. Okay.
Yes.
And
they're competing against players on their team right now.
Yeah.
And then, you play together through the spring and the summer. And then if you have scores, et cetera, you move into kind of match play against other courses and other teams.
It reminds me of the KC Cup.
Exactly.
It's same, traveling. I mean, I was like, oh, you go to that location, you play them, and then they come to your location, you play them, and it's very similar, but it's not. It's not. I don't think it's that.
And I love that like PGA of America is behind this. They're putting their resources into making this great. The kids get a jersey. I get a jersey as a coach, which I'm like wildly excited about.
Too excited about it? Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. And I think it's going to be fun to have that kind of team aspect for the kids, and we'll go into the next one. I have a kiddo who played PGA Junior League this past season, and she was like, I kind of like playing my own ball. Yeah, I like competing at a little bit higher level. Yeah. Great. You got that introductory. This is exactly what we're hoping for.
And I love this because you're just creating this path of like, you can do this, and then, here you go to the next level.
Yeah. So PGA Junior League, we started at 8 years old. And then they have US Kids Golf tournaments. Yeah. And this is like, I love the way these events are run, and they start at age 6 and under. Wow. I have tons of kids who are playing in these events. Relatively inexpensive, $39, 9 holes, $49 if you're playing 18 holes. They have spring season, summer season, and a fall season. And again, just a simple Google search of US Kids Golf, their tournaments, the Kansas City Tour. There you go.
We are going to crush this episode with keywords.
Great.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I know.
Get you to register. Yes.
I love it.
And these are just things that I have no backing, to say these things and give you this pathway other than I want more kids playing golf.
Yeah, this is not coming from it. No one has told us to do this episode.
Nobody.
This is us talking about it, really more you saying this is what I believe is the most important, maybe not the most important, but a way to get into the game.
Here's a path. Because I got the question too often early in my career, well, what's next? Yeah. What do we do next based on, group instruction and lessons? And I'm like, foaming at the mouth when they ask me that because I had so much fun doing these things. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to give a clear direction of what you can do.
I love it. So this is awesome because it is, to me, it's like I grew up in, and a lot of these programs weren't around. So I mean, it was very dependent on parents. And then I would say it's Sykes Lady now, but it was Overland Park Golf Course when I was young, and they had a tremendous junior program. They still do, and you'll get to that.
Yes,
I'm sure it's on there. But
yes, I didn't want to plug it first since I work there, but
it was huge. Like, it was huge. So everyone knew about it.
Let's talk about it. It's the Everett Van Zant Junior Tournament. It has happened obviously since you were a kid, since I was a kid. It's in its 50th year.
It's amazing,
and that's how long the golf course has been around.
There's not a lot of people in this area
that didn't play in that tournament.
Yes, it is so amazing. It's like, oh, you meet somebody. It's like, hey, did you play in the? Yeah, I played in the Overland. It's like, wow.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of people that I talk to about it, that's one of their favorite junior golf memories is that tournament. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely,
because was mine too.
I can remember, like you were saying, the old pavilion that was over by the par 3, closer to the par 3 first tee. And being underneath it, all the scoreboards were right there. I can remember standing and Sandy Queen, I'll bring his name up. Sandy Queen was presenting all the trophies. I wish, the only thing I don't have is pictures of myself at that. But oh my gosh, I wish I had some, because I can remember, I think I won the par 3 contest when I was young, and then I took like second. There was like a period of like 3 years where it was like me and another kid just like alternated winning it, and it was like that. And then you went to the bigger courses in the north south, and you played. How many days is it? I forget. It's
3 days.
It's 3 days.
It was 3 days when I was there. I'm pretty sure it still is. But
it's a big deal.
Yeah, and it's really fun because we get 400 juniors, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It fills every year. So if you're interested in doing that, it's tentatively scheduled August 2nd through the 4th. We haven't opened registration yet, but it's fun because it's flighted. So it's kind of like T-ball. Everybody gets a trophy. It's kind of the same way, but a trophy excites kids. Yeah.
I equate that to in my mind, like, I'm not a big proponent of like everyone wins. I think that's okay, but I equate this to like when you run a 5K. What do they do at the end of it?
You get a medal.
You get a medal.
You get
and
some
it's a memento,
award, of course.
Yes, of doing it. That's how I view that stuff, and I think that's fantastic.
And it definitely, there's still incentives to play better every year because the trophies do get bigger in size the better you play. So, I remember like, I want that big trophy.
Yes,
I want to go for that.
Huge one.
Yes, huge. Sometimes taller than me.
Yes.
But it's exciting. That's what excites the kids about it. So like you said and I said, that was one of my favorite junior tournament memories. And it's at the golf course I get to teach at now. Like, that's so full circle and so fun.
There's no way you don't go back in time when you go play that golf course. For me, at least. Like, I'll be on like one of the holes and I'll be like, I can still remember it's north. Oh my gosh, what's the par 5 up the hill?
6 is back.
I call it 15 because it was always south to north when I played it. But 6, and I can remember I had a Callaway Big Bertha Hawkeye driver.
I love it. Yes.
And I couldn't tell you how.
Wood.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how old I was, but it was my goal to get to the top of that hill with my drive. And every time I play that hole, I'm like, I got to get over that hill.
And you can now, but at the time, like, and I love that. I love that you talked about that. So,
and that stupid fairway bunker on the right, that's where everyone ends up. But
I haven't seen it. Haven't been in it. No. I like that you talked about having those small little victories on the golf course. Like, you had a goal to get it up the hill in the fairway on number 6. I love that. When I'm playing in tournaments, and I still get to, and I still love it, and I'm, still finding success from it, I'm having many goals out there. Yeah. As, I want to hit 12 out of 18 fairways. I want to have, if I have up and down opportunities, at least 75% of them are transferred into up and downs. And how can you relay that as a child? Because those are lofty goals for me as a pro golfer. But for a kiddo, it's, if they're playing 9 holes, can we have 2 out of 9 drives in the fairway? Yeah. And then can you pick dinner that night? Yeah.
Give them something to strive for.
Right. Because if you think about the whole overarching round of golf, it's pretty daunting. Yeah. But if you can break it down into little mini victories, it's a little more fun.
Well, and that's a great way of, I think, that's the way you should play regardless to me, because each shot how many people carry the weight of their previous shot to their next shot?
Too many.
And then it's messed with that. So you have to, I totally agree with these small little goals.
Yes.
And even, I have to do that now where I'm like, okay, you hit a shot, get over it, go execute your next shot.
Right.
Just go on to the next one, on to the next one.
I say to the kiddos a lot of times on one hole, you're probably going to have one not so great shot and one really great shot.
Yeah.
And it's just balancing those two things and hoping if you have the bad shot that you find the next good shot.
Yeah.
And getting yourself in opportunities to give you that. If you can balance those two as a junior golfer, you're probably going to make, par, maybe bogey. But if you only focus on that one yucky shot and you never give yourself or, get your mind right to have the good one, we're looking at double, triple bogey, and that's not fun. Yeah.
Robin Nigro always gave me the best advice when I was in high school. She was like, it takes one good shot on each hole to make birdie or par.
Yeah, that's so true.
She's like, and typically it's not your drive.
No.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah, I have a theory. I've had this theory for a long time. I think driver's the only club in your bag that you can perfect.
Yeah.
The tee box is flat.
Yes.
You can tee it the same height every time.
Yeah.
You just pick a target and go.
Right.
So that one should be perfect every time. And then it takes one more. Yes,
right.
I agree with Robin on that.
I mean, you have to be in play, obviously,
yes.
but you can't. But it's typically not your drive that's putting you in the birdie situation.
Yeah, whether it's you're on the middle of the green, you have a 25-foot putt. A 25-foot putt equates to a birdie if you make it.
Exactly.
I love it. If you have, you're in the middle of the fairway, you hit it to 3 feet. That's a brain break for you. You just got a nice little 3-footer in for
a brain break for you. For me, I'm like, oh gosh, please make it.
Shaking on the 3-footer. No. Okay, so yay, we got like almost half of these out of the way to talk about. We talked about
and
US
kids. It's only been 32 minutes.
I'm proud of us. I told you I wanted to quickly talk about this.
The sun is now up.
So yes, the rain is slowly stopping. So, okay. And then we talked about our fun tournament, Everett Van Zant at Sykes Lady. Okay, the Everett Van Zant, you can start at age 7. I think we have a 6 and under 6 division, and then up through high school. If we've made it through kind of those US Kids events and we're still loving golf, let's plug Central Links. Yeah. Okay. So did you play Kansas City Junior Tour when you were little?
I did, yes.
Okay, I loved these events so much. When we played them, we got to play the country clubs on Mondays.
Yes.
My dad would drop me off. He'd go to work.
I played. I was underage my first year.
Same.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Same.
I remember Mom was like, if anyone asks you what your age is, you're 13.
Yep.
I was like, but I'm 12.
Right.
No, you're 13.
They do start at 12 now.
Oh, they do?
That's good.
Okay.
Yes. But maybe too many of us were there. So
I have the best story about
you had to qualify to even play on the junior tour.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like 10 and you had to be 12 and they let me do the qualifier.
You were a lot better than I was.
And I beat all the older girls and they were not happy about
it. So it's like, who is this girl over here?
Yeah.
She's 10. I mean 12.
Yeah.
But I have the best story. So my first event that I'm sorry, I know we're trying to get to all these things.
No. I want to hear this.
So I'm been told by my mom, do not tell anyone your age. You're 13. Okay. All right. I won't tell you. So anyway,
that's like the train ticket is free if you're 2.
Yes.
You're 2, not 3.
Yes, exactly. Stand on your tippy toes to ride the roller coaster. Okay. But I get there and I'm carrying my green Pinghoofer bag, and it's probably bigger than I am.
You had to have one of those bags
tiny.
to be cool.
I was tiny. I didn't weigh over 100 pounds until I was almost a junior in high school. So I was really small. And now I'm 6'1".
Bigger than you.
Yes. So I'm like walking around and it's hitting me in the butt, like the weird walk that you do when your bag's too big. And I think it was like my first or second hole. And I cannot remember the course, and I apologize, and I probably shouldn't say the course anyways, but there were 2 holes, and it was a country club. There were 2 holes that were, adjacent to each other, and they were going opposite directions. And so a slice from either one would put the golfers in the same place in the rough on the right side of each hole. So I kind of faded my first tee shot, and I think it was like my first or second hole. And there was another kid coming the opposite direction, playing the other hole, that had done the very similar thing. So I'm walking along and I'm watching this kid, and he's probably 100 yards ahead of me, hitting, not over my head, but towards me, to my left, or I guess as I was walking, it would be to my right. So I'm like watching, I'm paying attention, and he shanks it.
Oh, no.
Right at me. And I'm like, I do the moment of like, and kind of freak out. Well, I dive. So I'm diving with my golf bag on. I dive out of the way and it hits me right in the forearm.
Oh, no.
And I mean, broke all the blood vessels.
No way.
Yes. Hit me so hard, broke all my blood vessels. So here I am, 12 years old. Don't tell anyone your age. Don't make anything. Don't do anything.
I'm hurt.
So the marshal comes up and I'm like, I'm okay. And it welts up so bad. And I remember going home and all the blood vessels in my right arm, like right on my forearm, were just shattered.
Was there any permanent damage?
No,
from that?
but like there was a perfect circle in the middle of all the
indentation of the golf ball.
So I had this like huge. My arm was like black and blue, except for right where the golf ball hit me, and all around that it had just spidered out with broken blood vessels.
What did the kid say that hit you? Did he just go on?
Sorry, yeah, exactly. It was, but I was trying to be super cool. Oh no, right. I'm fine.
Right.
Like, because I didn't want to make a scene.
Yep.
Because my mom, don't tell anybody.
Yes. True Midwesterner, aren't you? Yes.
It's okay. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You are. You look like you're hurt. No, I'm fine. Doesn't even
Tears
hurt.
running down.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. I just remember like thinking after, like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
Like, so.
No, I remember being so little. So Steve McMillan was the executive director.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
He's in Kentucky now, or
he's
Florida.
Now in Florida. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I told him when the LPGA commissioner is now with the USGA, and I told Steve, can you please be the LPGA commissioner? So we still stay in touch.
That's awesome.
But they wanted us to keep the pace of play up, and here I am, this little 10-year-old. Right. I got a pull cart. Yeah, I had to have it. Which I wish I would have kept it throughout my entire junior career.
Right.
I didn't get a pull cart back until, now I have one.
I don't.
But my senior season of golf, I finally used a pull cart again. And I've got all this tension in my shoulders. I wish I would have used it throughout my junior career. So all of those listening, get a pull cart, push cart, whatever it is, use it, utilize it. It's so much better for your body to have that. Anyway, Steve would want to keep pace of play up, so he'd come around and, watching us, and I'd always be like, can I have a ride? Because they would give us rides sometimes between holes, and then we finally had this like joke going. He'd come around and be like, please. I wouldn't even tell him what it was, and he's like, yep, okay, thank you.
That's
and
awesome.
We'd go on. Yeah, I loved doing those events and playing in those events. Great. So Central Links Golf, formerly KCGA, as you would know it, they have the Kansas City Junior Tour, so that's just in the metro, and then they have the Kansas Junior Tour, so that's throughout the entire state of Kansas, which is great because you can go out to these Western Kansas golf courses, which are actually phenomenal.
Yes.
And nobody, we don't realize that enough here in town.
Oh, we don't.
There are gems in Western Kansas that go take the day trip and play Mariah Hills and Buffalo Dunes and do it because it's great.
Do you follow the Middle Pin on Instagram?
I don't. Should I?
You need to. Yes.
Okay,
they're based out. I think the guy that owns it is in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah. And
then the videographer and the photographer is in Abilene, Kansas. And he does all this drone footage. Mariah Hills was one of the ones he did, and it's amazing.
It's beautiful.
They do such a great job, and their goal is to promote these golf courses out in Western Kansas.
And I have to promote LPGA for a minute. The Symetra Tour event is in the Symetra Tour, so the qualifying level for the LPGA is in Buffalo Dunes.
Oh yeah.
At the end of April.
Wow.
So if you want to watch high-level, really good golf, go out there. Okay, I have to talk. My husband's hometown is Ellis, Kansas, so it's just west of Hayes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Are you familiar with it?
I know exactly where it is, and I have friends that were from there.
Okay, so we'll talk about that
later. Crazy.
Yeah. So I go there to, meet his family as we're dating, and he's like, well, let's go play golf at my little 9-hole course in my town. And I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. I hear sand greens, da-da-da. I go to this little golf course in Ellis, Kansas, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it is a special, special place, and I hope that they know it. But if you want to take a break on your way out to Colorado, go play this Ellis 9-hole golf course.
I'm going to stop now. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's so well kept. It's there's beautiful terrain. You can see forever at some of the holes, and I had a blast.
That's awesome.
So
I love it, and those are I love going and doing those trips because it's so much fun. We went down to I'm completely drawing a blank. We went way down south of here about
Winfield. Winfield is...
I don't think it was Winfield.
Right on the border of Oklahoma. They have another gem of a golf course. We're going down the rabbit hole here.
Yeah, I know. We're going to do this regardless.
Yes.
So, but yeah. Okay, so keep going.
Yeah. Well,
Central Golf Links.
We were talking about how the Kansas Junior Tour are going out west. So that's all great stuff. Honestly, that's where I'm going to talk about the junior tournaments from there. When you're, if you're in it, Central Links, and you're loving junior tournament golf and you want to keep going, USGA Qualifiers for USGA Championships. I was lucky enough to play in 8 of them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're thinking like...
Stop bragging.
I know. But it was awesome.
Yeah.
US Open. Yeah. It's just the kid version of that.
Yeah.
Qualifying for these. So they have girls and boys USGA Junior Championships. Mm-hmm. It's a very inexpensive qualifier, $150. If you make it, you don't even pay to play in the event.
That's awesome.
You go and they wine and dine you, not wine as a junior, but they have these really nice banquets and
that's awesome.
And beautiful golf courses. One of them was at Bandon Dunes.
Yeah.
Got to play.
Darn. Yeah. Is that near here? Or is that
No. Oregon.
Yeah. I think Mike Kaiser has something to do with that.
Oh, yeah. Which, Sand Valley, if you haven't been there, that's only 8 hours from here.
I have not been there, but that was interesting. If you haven't
awesome.
If you haven't watched the No Laying Up, where they go to Oregon and they do their whole trip, they talk about the fact that, because that's Crenshaw is Sand Valley, or what did I say? Wait.
Well, it's the sister course of Bandon.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not the same architect, I don't think. Yes.
It's probably different.
It's different, but I think Crenshaw had something to do with that.
Okay.
I could be way wrong.
Anyway,
sorry,
I
listeners.
Played it last summer, and it was so fun. And
I want to go.
within driving distance of this town.
8 hours isn't that far away.
It's not bad at all.
I've heard, and it's just kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
It most definitely is. So it's the largest piece of land you could buy in America, and they built a golf course on it. And it's in the middle of, honestly, nowhere, Wisconsin.
Right.
And it has helped the townspeople tremendously because it's provided jobs for them, a track for them, caddy programs. It's really great. So that's some place to go check out.
Look at that. Golf is solving economic problems right there.
Through and through.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Let's talk about youth on course.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about playing, let's talk about youth on course.
And I think, that is, I'm glad you brought that. I was curious if you were going to bring this because I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about it.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah. So this was kind of, and obviously my factuality of this is maybe a little off, but I'm going to go with it.
Right. Go for it. Yeah.
West Coast based organization. Okay. So golfing in California is expensive.
Yeah.
And a lot of juniors weren't golfing. So what's our initiative that we can do it? Find these donors that will help supplement the green fees of golf, provide youth on course. Yeah. Youth on course is, I equate it to like a Costco membership for junior golf. You pay $20 and you can play golf for $5 or less.
Yeah.
Last time I looked, which was 2 years ago, there were 18 golf courses that in this metro that allowed youth on course memberships to play.
They have a sign. I've seen it. Sycamore has it's in the window of the sticker, and you see the kids in there all the time. It's great.
So
it's really cool.
Tom Watson heard about this and he said, we need this in Kansas City.
Yeah.
It was the best thing that he could have done because we have so many more juniors golfing.
Yeah.
Because it's less expensive. Now there are stipulations on the time you can play.
Yeah.
So at our courses, you know, during the week, you can't play before 2:30.
Right.
You should be in school.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So, after 2:30 and beyond, youth on course membership, you can play. The 9-hole regulation course is the $5. Mm-hmm. If you ride in a cart, it's additional cart fee, which it should be. Go walk.
Get out there. Get some exercise, kids.
And then the par 3, it's $3 to play our par 3 with youth on course membership. It pays for itself the first day, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I think the funny thing in what you just said is I can remember when I was a kid, it was like $5 to play the par 3 golf course.
It's 12 now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
inflation.
Get a youth on course membership.
Yes. No, that's awesome. I mean, it's still super affordable. I'm not the $12 is not outrageous by any means, but
but having this membership and then you can go play different golf courses for $5. Yeah.
Like you said, there's 18 potential around the metro area. I'm sure there's more.
I think there's more now. Be more now, I didn't do my research on that.
Yeah, that's okay.
But again, youth on course, search you'll find it immediately.
And this is, and I want to say that like the point of this is not for you to be the knowledge of truth here. You're just trying to give a way of, this is easy. You Google searched all this of like, you want the parents to do this, or you want the youth to do this, or you want the kids to do this themselves.
I'm in this every day, so I'm constantly hearing, and I have a background. I was the program director at the First Tee, and for about 2 years, and I know all these things that juniors can do, and I want to be the one to get them to the next level now. Yeah. So while I was all encompassing of how can we get more juniors to play, I still am passionate about that. But actually teaching them and seeing their success in a individual lesson or in a group lesson, I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for me, what I hear when you say next level, it doesn't mean to be competitive and stuff like that. To me, it's mean just be in the game. Progress into this being your lifelong sport that you can play.
I like that you just said that. I think, I've kind of had in the background in my notes, what's my mission? What's my mission as a golf pro? And I have these buzzwords of, it being a lifelong sport, it providing a quality of life difference. This sport, you're going to play, you can play it for a long, long time. Yeah. And I also think this is one of few sports that a grandfather or a grandmother can play with their grandchild.
And that's how I got into the game.
Right.
Is my grandparents retired. And they're like, we're retiring. We're going to join Leawood South. It's now Leawood Country Club. And they were like, we're buying clubs, so we're buying Billy clubs.
Yeah.
And I was like 5 at the time. You know? So exactly.
Yeah. And my motto, I've kind of morphed it into enjoy golf for a lifetime. Yeah. I want to provide that pathway to enjoy it for a lifetime. So I get a fresh student, blank canvas. And I want to give them a tool and a system of a golf swing that they can utilize to just play and open doors for their future.
I think it creates, and I don't mean this in disrespect to any other sport or anything that other, people might be doing to inspire youth and get them into things, but there's so many lessons you get to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, etiquette from, how to talk to people. I was having dinner with a buddy the other night, and he was saying his 12-year-old son, they go check in at a hotel or something, and his son goes, well, what time is breakfast? And his dad's like, I don't know. Why don't you go ask the front desk? And that sounds kind of weird.
Interpersonal skills.
Yes. And his point is like, my son doesn't talk to humans. He talks to all of the kids on his phone through his phone and stuff like that. And he's like, that's okay. But he's like, I want them to develop these skills that they can have a conversation, how to act in public. And that's what golf does.
Yeah.
I can remember my parents, my mom dropped me off at Overland Park Golf Course at the time, Sykes lady now. And she was like, when you can prove to me that you can act accordingly out here, you can come out here. Not on your own, but I'll drop you off and I won't walk with you the entire time. So we would go play the par 3 golf course. She would walk with me. I would play with older gentlemen, and she would just kind of observe, and she would not like tell me, don't do that, but she would, kind of guide me of like, this is what you need to do. And so the minute that she felt comfortable, she was still there, but she wasn't walking the course with me, and I'd come back up 9 and she'd be waiting there waving at me. And then I'd be like, can I go around again? She'd be like, okay.
How much did you learn when you were on your own in self-discovery?
Oh, a ton. Yeah. I mean, I think you discover yourself really in those
almost
things.
Quickly. The maturity level just goes higher and higher.
You become very independent. And I think to some degree, and hear me out on this, is I think that is a really great thing, but I think it also is something that you need to learn to, it's okay to, because I'm a very independent person too.
Same.
Like I internalize everything. And so I think there's something, I wish I would have had those lessons back then of I'm becoming more confident, I'm becoming stronger in who I am, but at the same time, I needed to learn how to deal with that maybe internal voice a little bit of like how to get those feelings and thoughts out in a productive way. And so I think that people who are developing younger skills, I think that are developing themselves very young through golf, I think that's a good lesson to learn of you are discovering yourself, being confident, you're understanding you can do things that you never thought you'd be able to do. And then when you can't do them, how do you figure out how to deal with that?
Yeah.
Of like not disappointment, but when you have a hard time and you're like, dang it, you're disappointed in yourself.
But
what are the healthy ways?
Seeking out the next step. It's, if we get a question and we don't know the answer to it, as adults, we're finding a way to get you that answer. It's the same in golf. If you can't hit a certain shot, are you going to advocate for yourself to find out how to hit that shot?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where I come in as a golf instructor. And you get that. And I love that. I love when kiddos have that moment of self-discovery on the golf course. And they're like, Coach G, I didn't hit it. I can't hit this shot low. Like, how do I do that?
How do I do that?
And me getting to teach them or hey, I had a shot where I could have kind of curved it around the tree, but I didn't do it. Can you teach me? And I'm like, stars in my eyes, like, yay, I'm going to teach you how to hit a draw or a fade.
And I think that's what I'm saying is like, I go into research mode where I'm going to be like, oh, I got to absorb everything. I don't go ask somebody about it. I'm like, I can figure this out. And I think that's what I'm saying is I wish I would have self-discovery, figured these things out, and then gone back to somebody like you and say, this is what I'm struggling with. How do I do this? And that's what
you have resources in every corner, whether it's golf or life. So
oh my gosh,
I think it's awesome. I we talked about tournaments, but let's say you have a junior golfer or a junior in general who hasn't taken up golf yet. We have great tools throughout the metro. First Tee is near and dear to my heart. We've got programs all around Kansas City. They're still open for their spring registration. We have our spring registration open at Sykes Lady. Our website has all of the junior lessons leagues that you could imagine. Courtney Mahan at Falcon Ridge and Prairie Highlands. She's got all of her junior lessons.
I need to get her on the show. Many people have mentioned her.
Yes. I know that they're doing a lot of stuff at Shoal Creek with juniors. So just kind of finding, go on maps, search a golf course, see which is the closest golf course to your house. And make the call. What are you doing for junior golf? Where can I find information for junior golf to get my kiddo involved? And group lessons are a great way to start your kiddo, because when you're at a group lesson, there's a big push for it being game based, not just a kid getting on your lesson tee and saying, this is how you hold it. You must hold it this way.
Right.
I just want the kid to hit the golf ball.
Yeah.
There's something about just hitting a golf ball and hitting it far that sparks joy and then keeps them coming back.
Oh my gosh. You just opened up the distance discussion. So I think that's phenomenal what you just said, because I agree with you. I 100% agree with the joy that comes to you, even as a grown man. I like, I hit that. When you just
hit one really well, and it's just like,
it goes over 300 yards. I'm like, yes, but I totally agree. It's something. And I think, I think in partial ways you're talking a little bit of, is it snag it golf?
Snag golf.
Snag golf. I'm sorry. Snag. Yes.
School programming. That's kind of how I got my start into teaching golf. I moved to Dallas right after college, and I was teaching first tee classes at Colbert Hills when I was there for the summers. But I moved to Dallas. I worked for their first tee program, and they had a huge push to get schools to teach part of their striking curriculum as golf.
Right.
So you're thinking striking, baseball, softball, things like that. Well, golf. And putting a club in the hands of these kiddos. Snag golf clubs they're very large plastic clubs, almost triple the size of a golf club.
They're huge. Yeah.
And you're hitting tennis balls.
Yep.
There's safety involved in that.
Right.
I get a lot of questions about how are you managing social distancing right now?
Yeah.
We're doing it in golf. If you are not socially distancing, that club is probably going to hurt you.
Yes, exactly. So, you're automatically doing it in golf. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the schools, and if you have a kiddo in a Shawnee Mission School District, they should be getting golf at school.
Nice.
That was a big push from Jeff Bury.
Yes.
And Footprints and Fairways.
Yep.
So
another person I want to get on the show.
Yes.
I've so many people talk about how awesome he is.
He's a special man with so many wonderful stories.
And he's out in Twin Oaks, right?
Yes. Yeah. So if you ever go out to Lawrence, there's a golf course just to your left. And it was not really taken care of for a long time. And Jeff Bury took it up, and that was his dream. I mean, the man has been a golf professional at Wolf Creek and Pinehurst and a lot of other places in between.
Right.
And here he is running this 9-hole junior, really fun course. I know a lot of kids at KU go and just play and have fun.
Yeah.
And this beautiful giant driving range.
Yeah,
and
it's huge.
Loving every minute of it.
My favorite part about it, and I'm not ragging on it, is the tractor that's always out on the driving range. Yeah. And I know it's there to pick up golf balls, but I just, you don't see that.
And who's on the tractor? Jeff Bury.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard that, and I keep meaning to, and I follow him on Facebook, and I see all the stuff he posts.
And the stories
that he has.
Oh, aren't they beautiful?
Yes.
So funny story, when I was a little girl, I'm pretty sure Jeff Bury was the head pro at Wolf Creek, and my dad was driving around. We used to go to Heritage Park a lot, and I was in the backseat of the car and, doing whatever, and my dad's driving around, and he happens upon Wolf Creek. And so he's like driving around the parking lot, like, what is this? Like, what is this place? And I think Jeff Bury comes out and was like, sir, I'm sorry, this is a men's only club. She can't be here. And he was like, dude, we're in the car. Like, okay, sorry.
Leave. Yeah, no kidding. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't remember this, but my dad tells that story.
Yeah,
so.
But he, in Jeff's defense there, he's just doing his job as being at that club and stuff like that.
Yes,
so it's probably not a really true characterization of who he is as a person.
No,
but
of course.
I think,
and that's that golf course and what they're doing there, that is great.
Right.
That is great for, us to have a high level golf course such as Wolf Creek in this area, but that is not true to every golf course.
No.
And like Sykes Lady, it's not just ladies golf. That's just the name of the course from the people who acquired the land.
It's a person's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
The people who acquired the land.
I've never thought about that people might think that.
Yeah, it happens often. Yes. And at our golf course, you also don't have to have a membership, which is true to a lot of golf courses in this town. There are private country clubs where you do have to have a membership, but there are so many options to play without a membership, just being able to walk on.
Yep.
It's not like Costco. It's like Price Chopper.
Right. This is so good. And that's true. I've always said this, and this comes from a very biased opinion and someone who hasn't traveled the country and played many golf courses in many different cities and states and whatnot. But I don't think there's a lot of cities that have better public facilities for golf. Yeah. I mean, per capita maybe of the fact that there are so many affordable, nice golf courses in the Kansas City metro area.
Yeah,
and
totally
that blows
agree.
me. I mean, I pick on Chicago way too much because I lived there for 4 years, and I was kind of taken back a little bit of the fact that there's good golf courses in Chicago. I want everyone to hear me correctly, but they're not affordable. Like some, you go out there and you're talking $200 a round or $150 a round. And here we're talking,
$75 at the highest for the most part.
And that's, I look at that and go, the $75 course is not a place that I would particularly go. It's not within my budget and stuff like that, but it might be for other people. So go there. But for me, I like to stick around the $50 mark or $40 mark, and there's amazing golf courses. Yes. And that I think you go elsewhere and they're more expensive. They're $100. Your $40 golf course is $100 other places.
I think it's really important for me to say I have never been a country club kid.
I haven't either.
I always grew up at the public facility. I lived between, like I said, St. Andrews and Sykes Lady, and that's where I got my start.
Yeah. But we're very fortunate to live close to those because I think, Overland Park Golf Course and St. Andrews were both, and Sykes Lady now, that was where everyone went.
Yeah, and it kind of still is.
Yes, and I think we're very fortunate to live in an area that has that.
Yes.
And the city, thank you for doing that. They provided a place.
It's come full circle for me, but from that, I've played in high level golf tournaments, won a lot of golf tournaments by practicing and playing at those courses. Yeah. And played collegiate golf and at Kansas State. Division I college golf is, I think, a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I'm going to toot my own horn.
Yes, and you should.
Well. Yeah.
Are you? Have you gotten through all the recommendations? Are we through the pathways?
Yes.
Okay.
So
let's get into who you are and why this is.
I didn't want to talk about this at the beginning because I didn't want to lose people.
And then let me just throw some stats out there. So you born and raised in Kansas City or Overland Park. I apologize to say Overland Park, but you were a big deal in high school. You played in St. Thomas Aquinas. You won 3 individual state championships in your time there. You also won 29 out of 35 tournaments in your 4 years there.
Yes.
29 out of 35 tournaments. I won 1 in my entire high school career.
So let me say, my senior year, I missed the first 3 events.
Oh, so you would have won 32 is what you're saying.
Maybe.
But you were probably off playing in some other.
I was. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Okay. So that was in 2009, the beginning of my senior season. I had the opportunity, like I was a first tee participant. I had the opportunity to go to their like prestigious event at Pebble Beach.
Oh,
and I got to play with Tom Watson.
Yes. Okay. That was going to bring that up. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. So while I was missing high school golf, I was in California playing Pebble Beach with none other than our hometown hero, Tom Watson,
who won the U.S. Open there in 1982.
It was incredible. And we got to play a practice round together at Pebble, which kind of was unheard of, but he took me over 217.
Where he chipped in,
and he made me hit the shot, which
no way.
Yes. And he was like, this is what you have to do, which I knew what to do actually, because in my junior career, I took lessons from Tony Roberts at St. Andrews. Mm-hmm. He's still around. He's still teaching, which is awesome. And then I moved into kind of as we kind of graduated out of everything he could teach me, went and took lessons from Stan Thirsk. At Blue Hills for multiple years. And I loved working with Stan because he taught me those fun shots that Tom knows.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And then Stan finally said, he's like, I can't see the ball anymore. Like you need to, move on and move up, and went over and took lessons from Rob Shipman. And we really took my game to another level together with technology.
Was that Milburn?
He's at Milburn. Okay, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. He used to be in this like dungeon garage thing where he had this great simulator, technology. He's moved up. He has a window now.
Oh, that's good for him.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to see him thriving.
Yeah. But he's out at Milburn and just working with Stan and then getting to hit that shot with Tom. He was like, wow, you know it. And I was like, yeah, Stan taught me that.
That's amazing. So that is amazing. Like that, there's not many people that can say that.
That man is, I wish he was still here with us. Stan Thirsk did a lot for the game in this town. Yeah. And it's really special. So,
I never got to meet him, but, I've always heard about him and stuff like that. And he was just, like you're saying, he's an icon in the golf scene in Kansas City.
And I love that the man he's a great golfer. Stan Thirsk is a great golfer, but his passion was to teach others about it.
That's amazing. He's kind of,
and he developed Tom Watson, and he helped me.
Yeah. Well, he reminds me of, I'll say Harvey Penick.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I remember reading the Little Red Book and all those things and just thinking, well, that's Stan, the same kind of person. I probably shouldn't be comparing them, but it's just kind of in my mind I think of it, equate it, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I mean, this sport I've traveled the world playing this sport. I met my husband playing this sport. Yeah. I have a career because of this sport. Essentially I have my own business because of this. I get to make my own hours for the most part. Yeah. Now that golf has kind of boomed over the last year, my hours are a lot longer, but it's good because I see that people are wanting to play. And my mission is to get more people playing.
I love that.
So I'm so excited for golf.
And for me, I think that we kind of have the same thing because this platform, the podcast, is just what I want to do is help provide an area where you can come and get more people to play in the game because that's what this is all about.
Yeah. So totally agree.
Well, Gianna, thank you.
Thank you
for coming down here early in the morning.
Yes.
Dealing with my caffeine craze.
I'm on the same boat as you, so we are good there. Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Is there anything, how can people get in touch with you?
Yes. Instagram is really easy. CoachG.golf.
Yep.
Kind of been having a little fun on Instagram with the reels and just really fun. And
you just showcased all of your new golfing outfits for the season.
Yes. I like Sunsafe shirts, and there's a really great brand that you need to know about if you don't. So, because being out in the sun a lot is not great for your skin.
It's not.
So, and I'm out there a lot, so I like really, really making sure I've got the sunscreen and the Sunsafe shirts.
Cover up.
So, So that's a great way to get in touch with me. All of my info is there. And then if you see me at Sykes Lady, say hi. Please. Please. Yes. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah. No, thank you for reaching out to me and wanting to do this, because this was amazing. I appreciate it. Good. Thank you very much.
All right.